During the Indo-Pacific 2025 exhibition in Sydney last week, Civmec, the lead contractor for the Arafura class OPV, unveiled a potential capability enhancement package for the vessel, featuring a range of modular, easily developed upgrade options. These include guns, containerized mission modules, missiles, and even sonar. So today, let's break down each option, deciding which one should stay, good plug-and-play addition, or better be left out entirely. The Arafura class is Australia's new generation OPV designed to replace the Armidal-class patrol boats. The Arafura class program suffered major delays and design changes, including problems integrating key systems like the main gun. She was supposed to be armed with a 40mm main gun, but ultimately it couldn't be integrated due to technical certification concern. So instead, the Arafura is armed with a 25mm cannon and two 50 cal machine guns. In contrast, her sister ship, the Darussalam class, carries bigger guns and packs anti-ship missiles. The Surface Combat Fleet Review, released in 2024, said that the OPV represents an inefficient use of resources for civil maritime security operations and lacks the survivability and self-defense system needed to contribute effectively to surface combat missions, and suggested that the Arafura should have a role focused on civil maritime security, carrying out constabulary missions, maritime patrol, and response duty. The mission she is carrying out right now. 2 vessels have been commissioned by the Australian Navy so far, with the third ship was just launched earlier this month. From my previous video on the OPV and from online discussions, it's clear there's a divide within the Australian public over the Arafura class, particularly when it comes to her firepower or lack of it. Some argue that since the vessel's primary role is constabulary in nature, her current armament is sufficient to deal with pirates and other criminal activities. Others, however, argue that as a 1,600-ton naval vessel, she should be equipped with proper offensive and defensive systems. I get where both sides are coming from, but it will be interesting to see just how much potential the Arafura really has, right? And that's exactly what Civmec is showcasing at the Indo-Pacific event last week. Starting from the bow, Civmec showcases the Bofors 57mm. This gun is actually on the reference ship design published by Lursen and is also fitted on the Darussalam class. I don't know why the Marlin 40mm wasn't installed, but Civmec says much of the prep work for fitting the 57mm gun is already done and requires only small changes to the structure. This convinces me that the Arafura class indeed can handle a gun at least to that caliber. I understand that her mission focuses more on civil maritime security rather than first or second tier warfighting roles. But in today's era of hybrid warfare, it's becoming almost impossible to tell whether Chinese maritime militia vessels are genuine fishing boats or simply a disguise for PLN Navy ships equipped with loitering drones. The Australian Navy and the Arafura class must expect the unexpected. And I think the 57mm is a perfect fit for the Arafura. It provides enough lethal power to counter pirates, drug runners, and other illicit boats, while also giving the vessel meaningful protection against both surface and air threats. The 57mm gun's ability to fire 3P programmable rounds and Alamo-guided munitions substantially expands the Arafura's engagement envelope, allowing it to effectively engage a wider variety of surface and airborne threats. It's definitely an improvement over the 25mm Typhoon system currently fitted, offering a far greater range, accuracy, and flexibility. So, in my opinion, the Arafura class should be fitted with the 57mm gun permanently. Moving to the aft deck, Civmec fitted a quadruple NSM missiles facing backwards. The missile is already in service with the Australian Navy and others and is considered one of the most advanced missiles for surface and land attacks. The representative mentioned that they have already completed several studies on how to integrate the missile with the vessel. However, he didn't specify whether the other components required to launch the missile are already in place or still need to be installed. This is an important question. As far as I know, the Arafura was never designed to carry surface-to-surface missiles, and to deploy the NSM, the ship would need shipboard systems to manage targeting and the launch sequence. Does the ship already have the C2, fire control, radar, and sensors required for NSM use, or would it need extra systems in addition to the launchers? If it's the former, adding the NSM to the Arafura during a high-level crisis could give the Navy a meaningful capability boost, particularly for anti-surface warfare. However, if the integration proves impractical or time-consuming, it's wiser to skip it. There's no point adding fancy weapons if it takes the OPV out of service for ages. It's possible to install all the additional components just in case and put the launcher later for when it's really needed. But it will be a bit of waste, wouldn't it? Considering her main mission as a civil maritime security. Alongside the NSM, Civmec also included a series of container-based solutions. This is what the Arafura meant to do, as is purposely built for containerized solutions. With 2 10-ton cranes, hatches for 20-foot ISO containers, and access to the deck below, the Arafura can take on missions well beyond her intended role. This is a modular system that can be slotted in relatively easy and low cost, but has significant impact to Arafura's overall capability. Loitering munitions is just one of them. She can also resupply troops across the Pacific, deliver food and medical aid during disasters, or be used as testbed for future unmanned systems. As long as the mission package fits inside a 20-foot container and doesn't draw excessive power, the Arafura can accommodate it. Finally, at the rear of the vessel, Civmec added the Captas 1 variable depth sonar. Captas 1 is the entry-level solution of Captas sonar family from Thales, capable of detection up to 40 km underwater. Civmec added sonar to its upgrade proposal for 2 main reasons. First, the Australian Navy will get the Captas 4 on the Hunter-class frigates. So, the Arafura could serve as a training platform for the Navy, allowing crews to gain familiarity with the Captas system before the Hunter-class enter service. And second, having advanced multi-static sonar systems across multiple ships increases the likelihood of detecting underwater threats like UUVs or submarines. Submarines and UUVs still and will be the hardest threat to detect and engage. Finding it takes coordination between air and surface assets, and neutralizing it often needs several different methods. So, I get the reason behind equipping the Arafura with sonar. But much like the NSM, this is a capability you would want to have equipped at all times when you have it. The system is expensive and considered a precious item in naval operations. So, you don't want it sitting in storage and only being bolted on once in a while. You want to equip it all the time. But equipping the Arafura with Captas sonar means shifting it from constabulary operations to a more combat-oriented profile, giving a strong reason to thoroughly upgunning it. In the end, the decision lies on the Australian Navy. Are they happy with the Arafura class current configuration, or do they feel the need to maximize her potential? From my view, at least the main gun must be upgraded. The containerized mission modules are just right. Captas is a good addition only if it's a permanent feature, but I'm still not sure with adding the NSM. How about you? What do you think of the Arafura class capability enhancement proposal? Should the Australian Navy take the recommendations? Also, what else would you add beyond all of this? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.